What's up, warriors? How you doing? I'm here getting my sweat on, and I just started thinking about some things about my past. If you've known me for a while, you know that I still believe in fitness, believe so much in challenging our bodies. Right now I'm challenging myself in the heat, and I'll actually work out in the heat too, and then I'll go into the cold, blah, 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 contrast therapy. It's really good for building resilience, training our willpower. As a recovering addict, specifically substance abuse, and more specifically sex addiction. When I was in my early 20s and I checked myself into SAA, Sex Addicts Anonymous, I was lifting and powerlifting like crazy still. And as it was a healthy alternative and a healthy outlet for me, it boosted my testosterone to a rate that I could not and I was not prepared for. So my sex drive went up like crazy. So this is the hard part of some people's recoveries, dealing with the hormones, having a support group, having an outlet, right? These are really the cornerstones or the pillars of healthy recovery. So I was working out and I thought I was giving, I was putting all my effort into these gym workouts, tearing my muscles, especially the leg days, the next day, the next 2-3 days after a leg day. Testosterone goes through the roof. So if you're having testosterone issues like low testosterone and you're not doing leg workouts, start working those legs way more. 2 to 3 times a week, okay? But if you have issues with sex addiction and high sex drive, that will feed this desire of lust or whatever, feed the lust cycle of the addict. And if we aren't able to control that, or we aren't able to transmute that, sublimate, we're going to actually do a lot more damage to ourselves on the addiction path. So now that I'm much more deeper into my recovery and I found techniques like transmutation breath techniques, sublimation breath techniques, prana exercises to get the energy moving beyond getting stuck in our lower regions, right? And then the testosterone, like if we're porn addicts, our relationship with sex is demented, retarded, completely remove all spirituality from it, which is supposed to be spiritual. Sexual energy is spiritual. Energy in general is spiritual. So in the body, when we're dealing with the hormones, especially for men, when we're working out really hard and the testosterone goes through the roof, what are you doing to keep balance in the body? What are you doing to remain on a recovery path when the sex drive goes way, way up? And there's been lots of studies now with what testosterone does to the men's mind. It's a lot different than what women experience, but even when testosterone goes up in women, it starts to change, right, who we are by influencing lust, desire. Sex drive is a powerful, powerful tool, and it can be used for greatness. That's where semen retention comes into handy, real handy, and controlling the energies of the body, removing the lust. How do you do that? Transmutation, sublimation, getting it out of the body, communicating with like-minded people who are having a similar struggle. It's important. My major awakening into spirituality was finally showing up to Sex Addicts Anonymous, showing up with a group of different people all fighting the same battle. We were all at war with ourselves, pretty much, with the programming of the world around us, but it's inside of us now. So we have to begin to look at the war in us. What are we fighting for? Sobriety, cleaner living, healthier future, right? That's what I'm fighting for. And bringing this wisdom to the next generation, right? There's lots that we can do just on our own for recovery. Going to the gym and being active is great, but communication, having friends, having an outlet, having hobbies, music is being a huge part of my recovery. All my life, music has been there for me. It's an energy that I can fall into, and I can have fun. I can express myself Expression is the opposite of depression, they say. So what are you holding on to inside of yourself that needs to come out? Sometimes working out helps with that, right? But it also, on the flip side, if we're already having high sex drive, and that's a problem for us, like it was for me in my early 20s and my mid 20s when I was figuring out all this stuff, I was like, oh, the gym's a great outlet. And I was seeing all these massive, awesome gains in my strength and my health. But underlying all that was the hormones were triggering an out of control sex drive. And I was hiding that from everybody. So authenticity is key, being true to ourselves, being true to others. And I just wanted to express that with any young people going through the hormonal changes and what working out can do, and sublimation exercises, transmutation exercises, getting into the breath more. You're seeing the breath as a tool for not just recovery, but spiritual growth and connection with others. Every time we breathe in, so much is going on. So much is happening within the body. Every single exhale is an opportunity to bring more balance within the body. Every single breath cycle, we can control the breath cycle. We can use that as our biggest tool to frame and reshape our lives. The breath is the basic foundational tool we can use and completely flip our lives in for the better, using the breath. There it is, a long exhale. With a hum, and nitric oxide goes up, cortisol goes down, oxytocin goes up, oxygenation goes up, CO2 gets more regulated in the body. CO2 is not a bad thing. If you want to know more about how the breath can serve you, how mentorship under me, the breath warrior, a recovered addict, and spiritual warrior, that's what we are here in this time of massive toxicity and massive programming and propaganda. It's a war we're in. So it's time to inspire the warrior. Peace. Namaste.